This episode of PTG is brought to you by HK Army. HK is an industry leader in high-quality paintball gear, accessories, and lifestyle apparel that was founded in 2007. And we have a tremendous opportunity for you all to be geared up on every level with HK Army custom team gear. Whether you're on the paintball field or in the airsoft arena, take your game to the next level by using code PTG to get 50% off your custom gear design fee. And I don't think y'all heard me out there. That is 50% off, and you will be able to collaborate with a seasoned designer to create custom branded HK Army jerseys, long sleeves, t-shirts, pants, gloves, or headbands for your team with no minimum order quantity. Head on over to hkarmy.com/custom and use code PTG for 50% off on your team's custom gear design fee right now. Let's go. Thank you, HK Army, for everything you do in paintball, in airsoft, and in so many people's lives. We love you. Go check them out. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop, and if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you could take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This episode is an around the horn style banger. We have Ryan Brand, coach of San Antonio X Factor, that calls in, talks about the last event coming up short against Damage in the finals, the one-on-one, and all of, the decisions that were made along the way. Ryan is always one of our favorite guests. He is just one of the most honest, vulnerable individuals that really is a great example of how to just be honest with yourself and figure out ways to be better and move on. Somebody who I think has been one of the best coaches in the league for the last, 10 years, and it's not even close. You could definitely put Ryan up in any sort of conversation when talking about some of the best coaches of all time. So it's awesome to have him on, and you guys are definitely going to enjoy that segment of the show. We also have Pat Kraft call in. He was out in Boston with me this last weekend with, the U19s and U16s, Team USA kids that were out there for the tryouts. And, of course, we then had the winner of the one-on-one Hormesis Elite Tour, Cameron Bushby, my boy from the Vegas Golden Misfits. We had him call in. And, you guys just are not going to want to miss this episode. Well, I don't think you're going to miss it because you're listening to the intro right now. So that means you've already listened to the ads, which means you're waiting for the PTG intro so that you can listen to the show. All right, I'm going to stop talking now. Without further ado, we'll see you in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
What's going on, everybody? We are back, episode 199, closing in on the 200 mark, T. Oh, my goodness. We got so much to talk about on this one. Ryan Brand, coach of X Factor, is going to be calling in here very soon in about 10 minutes. He listened to the last episode and hit me up and said, I want to get on and talk about, the tournament and obviously the one-on-ones and the decision to let Tommy Boy ride it out. And, I'm really excited for that. I think Ryan has been one of our best guests, in my opinion. He's
the
always
man.
Incredibly, just open and honest and pretty vulnerable, actually. So if you guys have not listened to the Ryan Brand episode, you should go back. I don't remember what number it was, but you should go back and listen to that one because it is a ton of valuable insight on really just how to be an amazing human. He took a lot of interesting paths to get to the coaching spot that he's in. He was once a player, and his path to become, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the game, maybe even of all time, is definitely worth a listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we then are going to have Pat Kraft on. Pat Kraft was out there this weekend. We were in Boston for the Team USA U19 and U16 tryouts. That went epic. Huge shout out to Anthony and Lori from BKI and Boston Paintball. What they're doing is just tremendous, and it was really awesome to be out there. And then to close out the show, we're going to have Cameron Bushby, the winner of the very first Hormesis one-on-one Elite Joust Duel Tour. He won the duel, so pretty epic. Big show. Big show ahead.
Let's go, Cameron. And he's from Golden Vegas Misfits, so you get to spend a lot of time with him as well on that team.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Vegas Golden Misfits, Vegas is vibing right now. Their hockey team just won the Stanley Cup. The Vegas team, the Misfits just won the WCPPL at the last one in Premier Division. And now Cam picking up the first one-on-one victory in the Elite Tour. Pretty epic. Yeah, they're on a good one right now.
Dude, the dice are hot right now in Vegas.
The dice are hot, dude. Roll them. Roll them.
And it looked amazing. Everything that BKI is doing for the youngsters going out to Europe to play in the Nations Cup in France. And you and I are actually going to be out there and can't wait to play in that as well.
Bro, I'm so excited that you're going to be out there with us. We definitely needed you last year. Sorry to all the other teams, all the other nations. Team USA is coming in hot this year. I'm very excited for it. We're gonna have a nice little squad. Be fun to get back over there with you and do some traveling and play some paintball.
Hell yeah! The last time we were over there was 2018, Prague. That was the last time. So we're super excited to be back over in Europe and can't wait to see everybody over there very soon. I mean, it's about a month and a half, couple months, something like that. We'll be out there.
Month and a half. Well, let's see. 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
What's the date today?
It's at the end of
2 months. 2 months.
There we go.
Wild. Goes quick, huh?
Dude, it does. And we have a long break, and I'm super excited that, I know we're both always staying busy, shooting our guns, teaching paintball, but I'm going to be in Texas next weekend, then Canada, and then we're doing a PTG Pro School on the East Coast, and then what else we got going on? Kentucky, Boston, France. We're going to be all over the place in this 2-month break leading into the 4th event of the year in Chicago for the NXL. So everybody stay hungry out there. I know it's a long break, but keep shooting that paintball gun and playing as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one. This is almost like an off season. There's literally 3 months in between the last event and the next event, which is equivalent to when we finish in November and pick up again in, February, March. So, everyone kind of goes into Chicago, and Chicago is like a really big momentous event heading into World Cup, and so it's one of those weekends where you kind of see teams either fall off a little bit or really hit stride.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you got to continue to just play as much as you possibly can, or be watching video, working out, consuming. Just keep feeding your mind and keeping your body ready to go for when that competition comes around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely, Ty. 100%. So, what are you going to do for, the next 2 months? What's your training looking like?
Dude, it's going to be off the Richter. My kids are going to school. Like Max is going to school for the first time, kindergarten. So I'm going to have my mornings are going to be wide open here shortly. Whereas, I had to make sure young Max man was fed 90 million times a day and had all of his favorite TV shows. So I'll have, and I love doing that. It's like my pride and joy is taking care of my sons. They're my everything. But I will have that time in the morning that's going to be opened up here shortly. So just working out as much as I possibly can. I want, I'm 34, I'm going to be 35, rolling into my mid 30s. And I want to make sure that just physically I'm ready to go, studying the game on all levels and just making sure that as well mentally, because you can work smart, but you can work hard, but you also have to work extremely smart and make sure that you have all the details ironed out in your mind so that you can accomplish the goals that, we set for ourselves to be the best we can at our sport.
Totally agree, dude. Yeah. It's interesting as we get older, I find that the, banging your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over and over and over, just because you simply think more is better, you realize that working smarter and finding better ways and different things that agree with your body and agree with keeping you mentally fresh, physically fresh, that's really important heading into an event, and you could definitely overdo it.
Totally.
I know we're both fans of working hard, no doubt, doing all the right things, but there's a little bit of a balance that is just enough to make sure that you're still you feel good physically. Absolutely. It just is what it is. It's genetics. As you get older, things are a little more sore for a little bit longer, so you got to listen to the body for sure.
That's right, and it looks different for everybody.
Totally.
What works for me might be the complete opposite for someone else, or but as long as you can never argue with effort. Effort is key. So say, and we're not the best paintball team in the world right now, Houston Heat. I think we're ranked number 4. And if we want to accomplish things that we haven't accomplished or go to areas that we haven't seen, we're going to have to do things we haven't done, and really get out of the box that is keeping us trapped. So effort is key, making sure that maybe we're not the best team in the world ranking wise right now, but we're the hardest working, and they can never take that away from you. So as long as the effort is there, that the things are going to start to fall into place and you're going to start to create new realities just because you care so much, that effort is it's just going to permeate through if you really care and you give effort to something.
I'll keep this really short. We got about 2 minutes until Ryan's ready for us to call him. But I was having this conversation with Kyle Berry, and I think Pat Kraft was involved in it too this weekend. They both shared a room with me. Those two snuggled up in a bed together, just so everybody knows. Three to a room. Haven't done that in a while, but they got to share a bed. And part of that conversation was it was about you and myself and heading into that 2020 World Cup with Dynasty, and the success that the team is sharing now started back in like 2017. Really, we had a really rough 2016, 2017. The team won one event, but then, it was just kind of like a one-off thing. Didn't have much success rest of 2017, 2018, the team, the core, a lot of us, and then you also came over and played with us in Europe, right? There was a lot of hard work and dedication towards getting to the top. There were so many Sundays where we were just 1 point away and would lose in the quarterfinals or losing in the semifinal in overtime, but we can never get to the finals. We couldn't get over the hump. But, heading into World Cup, we had like such a great foundation we had like a few wins, a few tastes of victory, again, 2018 beating Impact in the finals over in Europe, and then 2017 beating Impact in the finals in Vegas. So we had a taste of it. We knew how to win a little bit, but we were still like, still kind of just not quite there. And we started play the game in 2020, and the whole team really was focused heading into that 2020 World Cup, like really dialed, really focused. It was kind of like the tip of the iceberg that everybody's seeing now, is kind of all coming to fruition. You were a huge part of the start of, the current run that Dynasty's on, but people don't realize all the work and all the time spent losing that leads into that. It can get really frustrating. It can get really daunting. You could think everything we're doing is wrong, but sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you just have to keep doing, and make micro changes and try to evolve and all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
But yeah, anyway, rambling now.
Right.
Ryan Brand is ready for us, but
Shout out to Ryan.
it's a long process. Here we go.
It is.
Give him a call. Ooh, and then Pat Kraft.
Yeah, I'm stoked to tap in with Ryan.
Hello.
Mr. Brand.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good,
fantastic.
man.
Yeah, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are we live? Live, people?
We are
Dude,
live.
we
We
are
are
live.
ready to roll.
Let's play the game.
Let's go, baby. You know what it
You
is.
know what it is. Yeah.
How you doing, Ryan?
Doing all right. Obviously, could be doing a little bit better, but in a good place. Squad's in a good spot. So, just taking a little bit of time, getting back on my feet after leaving the paintball world, back in the real world. But I wish we had a event a little bit closer now. This long break, it's already feeling too long.
We were just talking about how long this break is. I mean, it's essentially an off season. It's kind of wild that in the middle of the season there's this 3-month break. That's a long time. What are you guys going to do to stay sharp? Do you have anything scheduled for the guys? Is there anything differently you approach this time off with, versus the other events, which are typically like 6 weeks apart?
Definitely. So, we're typically looking, we're going to fit at least one additional practice here in, and then we're trying to see if ICC sold out, but we're trying to work a little muscle and see if they're going to open up registration as a past champion, see if they'll let us in, because I think it'd be cool to get the whole squad together again and go play that. Or not actually, the Pittsburgh Open Classic, the former ICC. But other than that, we're probably going to try to get together. It's just too long to be away from everyone. And I don't want to start the season over fresh, if that makes sense. So we're going to try to just kind of press through and get back up and running as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. You got to make sure that, like we were just talking about how much paintball we're about to be playing, in this break, and making sure that we connect with our teammates. Everybody's working hard and giving a lot of effort if we want to continue to be the best, and you guys, man, what a show out at the last event in Philly, and just came up a little bit short in the overtime, but damn, it doesn't get any closer than that. And what a freaking battle. And shout out, like everyone's talking shit about Tom. That boy is a beast. I know we'll get into all the details of, what happened. And congratulations, obviously, to Jacob for winning that. But it's such a finicky thing, paintball, like these decisions, and sometimes they roll your way, sometimes they don't, but that's why it's a game, and that's why we continue to play, and that's why it's so much fun and keeps us all coming back. But I do want to obviously dive into the last event, and we've been practicing together quite a bit rolling into these tournaments, and our practices have been phenomenal. So thank you and the squad so much for coming out to the field at Wasteland and practicing us out there on that nice turf. But what is working for you guys, and what was it like rolling into the tournament, playing the prelims, and then obviously rolling into Sunday out there?
It's kind of been even a little bit longer. Backstory to that is that once we lost Archie at the end of 2021, that's big shoes to fill. And so we rolled into 2022, and we had a rough 2 first events. Just trying to get that all sorted out. and kind of, how we're going to share the ball, who's going to step up, and really what we always wanted and what we got is just everybody stepping up a little bit. And then once we kind of got out of that funk, we've been on a path, right, of everyone kind of gelling and getting together, new calls, new strategies, new philosophy. And since then, it's been, a mix of quarterfinals and semifinal losses. And, a lot of them have been close, 1-point games, overtime, points. We probably had some pretty epic ones. I guess the World Cup, we had that crazy match with Heat that I'm sure Tyler's very familiar with. And then Dynasty's sent us home quite a few times, by just a little bit. And so we knew we were right there. And then, this year we've just kind of really focused on just getting a little bit better. If we can get 1% better, 2% better, we'll be on the trajectory we need to be on to kind of make it into this next round.
Mm-hmm.
So we feel good. And, the first event we got 5th, and the second event we got 4th, and rolling into this one, we felt confident. We felt good. We're going to prelims where everyone's playing, we're running rotation, we're kind of getting everybody out there, and everything seems to be working. I think we lost a close one to Diesel, but in my past experience, losing a game in the prelims is not the worst thing for you. It really can open your eyes a little bit of getting exposed on what you need to tighten up and what you need to get a little bit stronger. So we kind of got what we wanted. We get out of those prelims, and everything. It was feeling good. We were feeling confident. I just felt like sometimes you get that feeling that this is a tournament that you very well might be standing on the podium at the end of it. And you start having those kind of thoughts of what the celebration is going to be like. Who's going to get sprayed in the eyes with champagne, all that kind of stuff. And you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but just I'm sure you guys are champions. You both know it. Like sometimes you just have that feeling that it's the conclusion. It's almost written. So I kind of had that. So unfortunately, it just didn't come up the way we wanted to. But super close games on Sunday on both our quarterfinals matches. With MYX, but I believe that came down to an overtime. Almost positive did, and just kind of a back and forth match. And those guys are they've kind of arrived, in my opinion. They're right there. They're not they're definitely, you can't take them lightly. You can't even overlook. I think even going into that match, talking to my guys, I think their MYX is still a little bit overlooked just because they're a team that they haven't won a tournament, and I don't believe they've been to a finals game, but their prelim record is ridiculous. I don't know if you guys know. I think they've lost maybe one prelim game in the past 3 events. Is that correct?
Damn, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're rolling.
I think they're just rolling through the prelims, and then their matches on a Sunday have been close. So I just kind of have to remind my guys, you got to respect these guys. This is a different team. So we got out of that one, and then into that Dynasty game. That's one we've been wanting. So and that was a bit of a wild one.
It was a painful one.
Yeah. So I've been on the other end of that enough, Marcelo. So at least it's a really good one.
Oh man, Meter played lights out that game. He put a great shot on me in overtime. It was an insane shot, but your whole team, the whole team stepped up. And actually, before you came on, I was, and kind of gave a little bit of an intro of we're going to have you on. And in that, I was saying, in my opinion, one of the best coaches of all time. And it's because every single iteration of X Factor that you've had has been really good. And again, I think a lot of people wrote you guys off after losing Archie, and you guys were still there ready to contend and could win any event. There was events where Archie was hurt. There was, new superstars that had come in, when Archie was still on X Factor. And you guys have always just been coached so well. I feel like playing against you guys, as far as game plans, the looks that we're going to see, knowing what we're going to do, I feel like your team is always one of the more prepared teams out of any teams that we play. And it really is a testament to how you run the organization.
Yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate that. I did see, us get written off when we lost Archie, and written off again when we lost Rainey, and both these guys they're Hall of Fame players, and you can't take anything away from them. But we do have a strong system in place, and we are fortunate enough to have someone like Alex in our corner and a history and a system in place that allows us to go out and get other elite players to kind of help fill those shoes as well. So it's it's a lot of work, right? You gotta shift things. You gotta learn new ideas and teach people your concepts to get them to fit into the system. But there's also sometimes you want to keep your roster consistent, but there's things to learn from bringing people in as well. If we didn't lose Archie, we may or may not have ever gotten Parrish, and there's things LJ has changed the way I look at things, to a certain extent, and and if we hadn't lost Rainey, we may or may not have gotten Mikowski and Cody to the effect that he's had on our squad and showing some new techniques, specifically around his off the break shooting, has really elevated us to where we have guys that are now hitting shots that they weren't hitting before just by Cody coming in and showing, hey, try it, my way, try it this new way.
What's his way?
So I'm
for the listeners, dude, we have so many divisional players that are, listening to the show. They really they want to get better at shooting off the break. Tyler and I know how to do it. Just share the juice.
For sure. And obviously, it's like I'm talking to two guys who know what the hell they're doing, but it's, I would just say certain things that are a little unconventional that Cody will kind of show, whether it's shifting hands a particular way or stepping up or out a particular way. It's just sometimes it feels goofy or unnatural, but it's just giving you that little angle shift that if you commit to it, you can hit a shot that you typically weren't. And so I think now that just little things like that. So it's kind of like when you lose talent, that sucks, and then you're having to regel and all that kind of stuff. But bringing in new people with new ideas and new concepts can help. But to the other side of it, it's kind of like after we have a guy that's a core member and they move on, I kind of am like, man, there's a lot of knowledge that I've shared with that person or the team that's now going to another team. And just similarly, like when we got Rainey from Impact, we learned a lot from the Impact system that we were able to kind of filter in. And I'm sure Rainey's taken some of what we have over to Damage and may or may not be them utilizing some of that. So now we kind of went back and we've kind of changed our philosophy up on some of the ways we're playing the field and approaching and the new strategies to kind of just keep ahead of the curve. So it's all fun. It's all a game, and it does keep things fresh and not so much of just, doing the same thing year after year.
Yeah. Paintball is a crazy war of mind games, when it all comes down to it. It's like, who's going to outsmart who? And that's really one of the most intriguing facets of paintball. And, definitely a huge reason why I continue to play is it's a battle of the wits. And, obviously me and March were talking about, you work hard and you give max effort to the practice and to the mission of winning tournaments. But man, you got to work smart. You got to outsmart people on and off the paintball field. So that really is what adds to your supreme reign as a coach also, Ryan, because you've been one of the best coaches over such a long period of time and have been able to facilitate such great team energy, chemistry, and build, organizations that are going to make a run for that top spot. So what have been some of the big things that you have implemented into your system that helps you, stay sharp, obviously outsmart people and give your squad the best run at winning tournaments?
A lot of it, there's, because you're like a coach, but you're also kind of trying to take this managerial role too. And what I'm trying to do a lot of is take enough off the players to where they don't have to deal with BS or, some guy's going to be,
Totally.
Oh, I didn't know we're leaving for the field at this time or that time. And so I typically lead each meeting and probably close it with, hey, like, this is when we're leaving. This is what it looks like. Hey, this is when we need to be dressed. we're going to watch these games and this is where we got to go, and kind of get that kind of logistical stuff out of the way so players are able to be there and be focused. And then, after that, it's really, it's in the scouting, it's in understanding the opponents. I know that for my players to play at the best at events, they're not able to watch as much tape as I can. If I need to stay up late and really get the scout down and go back and watch Go Sports for 6 hours, I don't necessarily want my guys doing that. Like, I want them to be in their peak physical form to play. So if I can go in there and I can commit maximum effort on everything, and I can give them the information that they believe in and believe in each other, then they can play their best. And kind of, if I can find a little edge that they can go and utilize on the field, it's just that little percent that I can give them. And I can say, hey, they're running to this bunker because I know what it looks like when this guy drops his shoulders 1 second before he takes off. Or this guy delays in the dead zone when these two people are on the field together. This guy's more than likely going to be in this area. And if we can call a code and we throw some paint there, I'm giving them that little bit of edge through hard work that some teams may not have the same edge. And if we can that's how tight it is at the top. So for me, it's just putting as much effort in there as possible to give our guys the edge, because I'm really only there to try to give them a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's not the coaches that win. It's the team, it's the players. But if I can contribute a little bit, I'm confident my guys can pull away.
Yeah, and it takes everybody. I mean, you know that as well as anybody. It takes everyone chipping in and doing their part and going like above and beyond the call of duty to try and get the job done. And if everybody's doing that, you're going to have a really good chance. If the effort's high and people really care about the process, like we always talk about, you're going to have a really good chance at being at the top, holding that first place trophy, or being at the top consistently over a long period of time, which you guys have done through many iterations, which is a testament to, the coaching, the ownership, and obviously the hard work and dedication that you guys are putting in to being the best out there. What does have to say about everything? I know his texts have been kind of crazy to you, I'm sure.
Oh man, me and Yaya's conversations are always the best. But I think we get a little bit of insight into everything. But that guy's he's a hardworking dude, and I think it was funny. We're trying to figure out who's going to go practice too, so we had it on the line. If you guys had made it to the finals, we were going to play for who was going to Houston, who was going to San Antonio. Yeah, you guys just came a little bit too short. But
dude, he's the best. He's the man. He is like, no disrespect to you or anything, but he's the best manager in paintball, in my opinion. The guy is just, always giving 100,000,000% to make sure that his players and his team are going to have a good run at the top. And he cares, he really, really cares. And that's something that's hard to find.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story, Tyler. Me and him are always giving each other a hard time who's the better GM in paintball. But he's got the ultimate trump card once he got you. So now it's not even a conversation. It's like, oh, you got Tyler. And he's like, yeah, you'll never beat that.
Dude.
I was like, yeah, there's not much I can say.
Fuck. Connor Kelly, too. He swooped up Connor.
That was a solid one. I'll tell you what, guys. That's a pickup, and I'll tell you when I knew it. I'd always had my eye on Connor, but I didn't know him from Adam, and so I just knew he was a young kid with a lot of talent. But it's when he did y'all's podcast, and I got to hear him speak in long form, and I called Billy, and I go, man, we fucked up. like there's not the amount of understanding and maturity and what he was saying. It just really blew me away at his age, because I knew myself at his age, and it wasn't that. So I can only imagine, the future that guy has in front of him. But it was definitely listening to him on PTG when I was like, oh shit, like that's the diamond in the rough for sure.
Dude, that was my exact thoughts too. I was even saying it on the show. I was like, wow, I have become a huge fan of that player, that person, in those, 2 hours that we talked. I even tried, to kind of, I lobbed him some questions that definitely could have been answered wrong. You know what I mean? Like just some questions where like, okay, let's see where your head's at. And he knocked them out of the park, just humble, honest, and the right mindset. I was like, damn, this kid is, like you said, mature, very mature for his age. And, you know, I was like, you definitely, you guys scored on that.
Yeah, he's a good kid, man. We're very blessed to have him. And he's like, we talk about work ethic. The guy is working his butt off, and it's a new program. You know, he's never experienced anything quite like the Houston Heat program or one of the top, let's just say, you know, top 6 pro teams in the league. So it's a completely new learning curve for him. And he is picking up the ball and running with it and doing tremendous at practice, at events. And we can't wait to see him, you know, continue to flourish. I think he's 20. He's not even 21 years old. So he's a young man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, if you don't mind, you know, after we did the episode with Jacob, you had sent me a message and we hopped on a phone call, and I've always appreciated just your honesty and kind of vulnerability, you know, and willingness to get better as a coach. And you've always been the first to, you know, just kind of own whether it was a mistake or not a mistake. You always take ownership of the team's results one way or another. Do you want to kind of go through that final game and what happened? Again, you know, what we had talked about is a lot of people thought it would be TJ that would go out for that one-on-one. Again, nothing against Tom Guest. You know, to be honest, I haven't even actually heard people talking shit about Tom. The common thing is that Tom is a really good one-on-one player and has been playing lights out since he's been back. But TJ Danner is known for one-on-ones. He's known for those kind of moments. You know, he's won them, you know, in tournaments, in big moments, you know, so I think a lot of people just kind of thought that was going to be the direction you go in. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'll run you through the match and then we can kind of dive into the old one-on-one. But yeah, so, you know, we're going into there and we had been running rotation effectively throughout the tournament of about an 8-player rotation, and it looked like Damage. They kind of quickly went into their 5, which is a little bit atypical for them, but that's what they were rolling with, and it was working. And you know, we just kind of felt that we were a little bit more fresh, and so if we could kind of, you know, keep the points a little bit more aggressive and set the tone, be better for us. And so that was the strategy going in there. And they wound up the first point. You know, they won that pretty convincingly, pretty quickly. And then the second point as well, I think they shot 2 of us off the break. They just kind of blew us right off the field. But it left maybe, you know, 13 minutes and change on the clock. So we weren't too concerned about it. You know, the third point, we went out there, we kind of did a little gadget play, just slingshot from the back there into the snake that really kind of kept them trapped in the pocket. We were able to win that. The next point, I think we shot 2 off the break and quickly won that. So now we're just kind of like, all right, 2-2 now. And we were already looking what seemed like signs of fatigue from their team. So the momentum, everything was just kind of really confident on our side of things, how we're feeling. We go out there, we win the third point. You know, we were in control. It took us a little while to close it. And by the end of it, we're up 3-2 with, I think, 6 minutes and change left. And if we went out there with a standard breakout, with no intention of that next point being a 6-minute long point, but just the way it broke down, that it wound up 5-on-5 off the break, and we were trapped a little bit on the snake side, and Meter worked his way out to the corner, and you know, it was so nobody got a shot in on everybody, and the clock just started to kind of kick off a little bit. And obviously, in retrospect, it's not really what we wanted, considering we wanted to kind of hopefully drag them to the deep water a little bit with a lot of points. And our guys were just at one point, you know, talking to them now, they just kind of made the decision that, you know, everyone was alive and they had a good chance of forcing an error of them coming into us. Even our positioning wasn't great. And so it just, the clock started ticking, and, you know, I was kind of rolling my eyes like, you know, this isn't the strategy, guys. But, you know, over time, I then started to realize that, like, oh shit, like we might actually be able to burn this off and beat them 3-2. And then we got a shot on Rainey. I think we're up a body. And then once we shot Rainey, we were so, like, playing so soft that I think Meter looked out into a ball real quick and evened it up. And then they just had all the position, and we were trapped pretty pocketed, but still the time is running down. I think maybe there's like a minute and 30 seconds left. And then in that less than a minute, them trying to close the point out, just kind of a car crash of points, of players, just everyone shooting everybody. And it actually came down to a one-on-one with 34 seconds left. And I think, you know, as we go through this, the next point too, like obviously Jacob is the hero, and I don't want to take anything away from Jacob, by any means, but his brother, Jason, kept them in this fucking, this event to win it. Cause it came into a one-on-one, and Jason made a really good move, and he actually tripled the snake. Once he got in there and they got 3 bodies in there, I was like, oh, this could be really problematic, because once you kill 2 guys out of your snake, it's unlikely that you're going to expect the next one to be in there. So it comes down to a one-on-one with TJ and Jason. And TJ knew that it was kill 4, but he peeks his head up to check the clock, and Jason puts a shot on him. And not an easy shot. I think he's over the top of the 50 snake and just hits it and hits TJ. If he misses that shot, he's now got 30 seconds to win a one-on-one and hang the flag, or we win the event. Like, that's how big of a shot that is for Jason to hit. And just, you know, and hell, Jason's done that his whole career. So he hits that shot. We burn it out. We go to overtime. And still, we're feeling really good. You know, it's like we you know, it's still like, you know, we're fresh. You know, we see them kind of burning out the overtime. We feel really good going into this overtime point. And so I called an aggressive breakout on both ends, and just kind of, I don't know, just feeling that we roll the dice on both sides. And if one of them works, then we're still in position. If both of them work, we have a huge advantage. And if both of them don't work and both guys get shot off the break, then we lose. And I was kind of willing to take those odds in the moment. So we risked them on both sides. Both of our guys made it. They all made it out, but they were a little bit softer than us, especially on the snake side. And then we got the first kill off the Drudo side. So we're 54 in overtime, 5-on-4. Have them trapped on the snake side, and just slowly kind of crawling into position there. And now we're, you know, in good spots. And, you know, eventually Colt bunkers out Keith, trades with him. We're up 4-on-3. Now they're really trapped. Their widest body is Rainey in the snake can. And we have 2 guys in the 50 snake structure. So they're just, you know, we're up 4-on-3, and in my head, I'm on the sidelines, you know, with front row. I'm like, all right, we've won this. Like, this is game over. You know, where do I get the trophy? Is what's going through my head. And so Billy and Meter are just kind of putting together how to go to the next bunker on the snake side. And right before Billy makes the move, he comes over the top of the big 50 wedge on the snake side, just to kind of, you know, throw some pain and kind of take a look. And Jason shoots him from Dorito corner to the snake over the top of the 50 with, you know, like, it's Billy's first time going over there. So with the amount of time it took, it more than likely had to be like the first ball out of Jason's gun from that corner to snipe Billy, coming over the top there. And that evened it up. And I think everyone just kind of realized that at that point, no one really had the big advantage there. It was almost like if you tried to win it with maybe with a minute and 40 seconds left, you were more than likely putting your team at a disadvantage. And so it ran out and we went to 1-on-1. And so that's the tale of regulation there.
Jason had some big moment shots. I mean, to really clutch them, getting the opportunity to get into overtime and play that.
Yeah. And I believe, I'm pretty sure I recall this is the last time they won a 1-on-1 in Dallas with Jacob. I'm pretty sure they were about to lose that match in regulation as well, or even in overtime. And Jason like came out of the back center in a 1-on-2 and shot Axel and someone else. Like, I'm pretty sure that happened that time. So So like Jacob gets the praise, and it's just praise, you know, like he deserves it. And you always see Big Brother on anytime there's a video like really pumping up Jacob and
Hell
talking all the great things about him. But it's awesome. But I feel like on both of these, Jacob wouldn't have the opportunity without Jason, which is pretty awesome. But
that's a good big bro.
In my case.
That's a good big brother.
That's a good big bro for sure.
Damn.
So,
Wow.
so now it's one-on-one time, and I did a little brief math after this happened, just trying to think about it, because I think I've now, over the past 13 seasons or however long I've been coaching X Factor, I think somewhere in the range of 350 to 400 X ball matches, like somewhere in there. And this was the first time we've gone to one-on-one. Never in a prelim, never in the quarterfinal or anything. The first time in the finals. And so, it's a thing. It's a known thing that can happen. I was on a team with X Factor as a player when it happened once, but it was 7-man, and I feel like it was more. It could happen. Obviously, just the way the 7-man format is, it's more likely for a game to stalemate and to go to a situation like that. But it's like, so we've had so many matches and it's never happened. And just like I say that, like earlier, I like to go through the logistics and get my guys as prepared as possible. I've kind of kept my one-on-one strategy to myself, because I'm like, do I really need to fill my players' heads with what the strategy could be in a one-on-one if we get to it, because it's just such a low percentage that it's going to happen. And I might look at that differently now than I did, but that's just how I went about it. And it's a fluid situation. You want to, if someone's on fire on a match, you want to be able to make that decision. So, so the second the clock went to, overtime, game finished or whatever, the zeros happened. I just had in my head or whatever that we would have more time, if it makes sense, like that you would be able to go and, plan it out, and you can have your champion, and it's just kind of like a re-entering of a match or whatever. And that's my mistake as well. But the second it goes to zero, just for if anyone's going to get into it, it goes to minute 99. The clock starts running right away. And initially what happened is, with about 10 to 15 seconds left, I went over to Jason, because I was like, all right, this is going to one-on-one. So I went over to Trojan just to confirm the rules, that it was 2 minutes, that you don't have to hit the buzzer. But I just wanted to, even though I knew the rules, I wanted to confirm them, right? The last thing I want to do is give my player bad information and it cost me. So for a good 20 seconds of the 2-minute clock that was winding that I didn't know about, I'm talking to Trojan. And then I walked back into my pit, and it was pure chaos of guys basically like, it should be this guy, it should be that guy, and just people that are just kind of like, just everyone's just kind of talking amongst themselves or whatever, which isn't something I typically would expect, but I kind of get it with the emotions rising high. We've never been in this situation. But I guess in my fantasy brain, it would be everyone silent, and then I would get up there and, look the guy in the eye I wanted and, hey, do you want the ball? But unfortunately, it was a little bit more chaotic than that. And maybe because the clock was running and I wasn't there initially. And so, I went up to the player that I thought it should be in the moment. And to be particularly honest, it wasn't Tom. And don't get me wrong on that. Tom is a monster of a player, and I think everybody who's a pro knows this. And his game is just elevating to new levels. When we got Tom, he didn't have a ton of pro experience, and he was a kind of guy that just had these killer instincts and the asset of his height, but just someone that just in the flow state does incredible things. And over the past year, I've just watched him elevate his game every single tournament. So as far as like my confidence with Tom on the field, absolutely 100% confident in Tom. But in that particular situation, there was a couple things in my head working against that being the correct decision. One being that we're in a big moment here. that, Tom's not played much in a final before. He's never won a pro event. There's just a lot of pressure to put on one guy in a moment like that, to just kind of, say, hey, the whole team is on your back. You kind of got to be a psychopath to even really want that. But, they exist. And the other one is that while we were running a rotation throughout the tournament, Tom didn't play a ton in that particular match because he played, I believe, the second point, and he died early on a bounce shot, and then he played the fourth point, and he had a great point, and I think he played the full point, hung the flag. But then we got out of the rotation a little bit.
There?
Yeah, we're hanging flags.
You guys out at the 10-man field?
Yeah, we try and this is like we grab the center flag, J-Rap, dove it in, but yeah, so whatever. He hit the buzzer, and but after that we had a point that wasn't in the rotation, and then we flipped the squad in that long 6-minute point, and then another in that same group that had that long 6-minute point played the 5-minute overtime. Yeah. So I had 5 guys, in my opinion, to choose from. The 5 guys that were pretty damn hot, that had at least had the blood going, had been playing. Because my other 3 guys in the roster hadn't touched the field in the past 12 minutes or plus, with 2 minutes in between points. Mm-hmm. So to me, it just wasn't necessarily gonna be one of those guys. I was kind of looking at my guys in there. So and basically what happened is that and I guess the next layer on top of it is that we do one-on-one drills at practice like everybody should. And at those one-on-one drills, Tom is our standout guy, and it's a little bit different, I understand, too, breaking out from the back center and doing a one-on-one and getting in a one-on-one naturally. There's a little bit, there's different things there. And Tom is our guy that wins a lot of those competitions. So I understand, why what happened next happened. But I went up to one of my guys and I said, hey, are you good to go? And his response, was, I think it should be Tom. And I, for whatever reason, I that's okay. I think that's what he thought at the time. And I understand why he thought that, right? Tom wins. Tom's a beast. Tom wins those competitions at our practice. But before I had a chance to rebuttal, and this is how much confidence the team has in Tom, before I had a chance to say, hey, let me talk to Tom. Let me see what Tom thinks here. Because I think for whoever goes in, there's a difference of saying you want the ball, or actually I want to look someone in their eyes and say, hey, do you want this? Are you that type of psycho that wants this? I know what the look in Tyler Harmon's eyes looks like when he's playing a paintball match, and I want to see someone locked in at that level. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a chance to look at Tom. The second our player said it should be Tom, another player just thought the best thing to do was just to go, yeah, let's go, Tom. And then you had 8 other people go, yeah, Tom, let's go, Tom. And everyone just started that, and then that was the decision. And so a couple of things, I didn't have a chance to talk to Tom. Tom didn't have a chance to say, yeah, I want it. It was just someone else made a decision for him. And that decision just rolled downhill like a snowball. And so that's how Tom got out there. But Tom handled it like a beast. And very well, Tom might have said, yeah, fuck yeah, I want it. And I believe he very well might have. We just didn't have a chance to have that conversation.
Totally.
And at the end of the day, no matter who we put out there, they're still going up against Jacob. So it's not like you can sit here and go, I'm not going to lose sleep saying, oh, if I would have said, hey, no, it should be TJ, or it should be Meter, or it should be Mikowski, or it should be Colt, that we would have won. At the end of the day, you're standing across the field from Jacob and you're in for a fight. So in my opinion, that's not where we lost the tournament. That's just how it went down. We lost the tournament by not closing them out in regulation and not closing them out in overtime. And you get in that arena with Jacob, and Any one-on-one you could say with these top guys that belong in these finals is going to be somewhere around a 50-50. But Jacob's got an edge because just like I was talking about where, Tom might be a guy that doesn't have the experience of that level of pressure. Jacob is one of a few players in the league that has won a tournament for his team in that arena, in the finals, in double overtime.
Totally.
So he's going to have the edge over almost anybody, to a little bit of an edge that you're going to have to come out with a little bit of extra confidence. And so that's how the cookie crumbles. But it's all right. Team's in a good spot. And at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to, when I say this, I hope it doesn't come off wrong because I don't want to take anything away from Damage because they beat us. But it's like we went to a tournament and I don't necessarily feel like we didn't win. It's like but we didn't lose a 5-on-5 game either. We lost a 1-on-1, but we didn't win. But that's probably the hardest thing walking away from it is that I felt like, I would have rather won or lost it in overtime.
Do you think that the league should consider, at least for maybe Sunday or at least the finals, going to kind of like they used to, like best of 5 1-on-1s? If it goes into double overtime, you go to a shootout, or, maybe even best of 3. But I thought it was super cool when he did best of 5 and you have 5 of your guys go out and, each one you could lower the time. Maybe it's not 2 minutes, maybe it's 1 minute, maybe it's 90 seconds. But how do you feel about that? 'Cause I feel like it is kind of weird that you go into double overtime and it's just 1-on-1. This is a team sport that we play,
Yeah, 100%. I think retroactively they should do it, and then we should finish the match at the next event. But no,
perfect. We'll pitch that to Tom Cole. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, pitch it. Joey Blue said it's cool. If anyone would convince Joey, might say it's cool because he's just that confident in this guy. But I agree. It's cool, right? And it's like I don't want to complain and say like it should have been this, but I thought it was awesome from everyone's standpoint. The way they used to do it, the best of 5, obviously the iconic Dynasty infamous challengers match is still, that's so funny that's one of the most iconic games ever, and it was for 11th place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's kind of, that game will go down in history more so than the one we just played, 2 weeks ago, and it's for 11th place.
Totally.
And so it's, I think that says a lot that, it should be more of a shootout would be cool. I did enjoy the MPPL, like the 3-on-3s. I thought was cool. That's still a bit of a team aspect. I do think it should be settled by a team. Even if they just, like, you run out with whoever you just played in overtime, like those 5 guys are going to go whatever order you want it in cool. 1 minute long, a 1-on-1. That'd be cool. I also liked, even like having to, right now you don't have to go and hit the buzzer, and but having like that Dynasty infamous game they did, and guys were diving into it because I think one of them maybe was Bornstein, that was like really close to whether or not he was going to get there in time. So yeah, personally, I think I would like the team sport to prevail, and if it does stick to 1-on-1s, I would like to see more of them, just to make it more of a team effort to win rather than just being all on the shoulders of one guy.
Mm-hmm. I'm all about always seeing more paintball too. Like more paintball is always going to be better, and it'll be so entertaining. Like you said, those 1-on-1s are captivating. And the game that you guys played out there against Damage was definitely an all-time game. Like I was commentating and it was like, we're on the edge of our seats. Like, oh my God, it's going to 1-on-1s. And it was just crazy. It was a great game.
Yeah, and I think I did pitch to Tom just completely for whatever reason, I don't even know how it came up, that I felt like there should be multiple 1-on-1s in the prelims and rather than just one. And I guess his argument was the schedule, we could get so far off schedule. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like the infrequency that it happens, I think warrants that. Who cares if you get off schedule 1 tournament out of 15 for that moment to watch it, play out.
Yeah.
I think everybody wins. And how off schedule really can we get? So I just feel like those one-on-ones are cool. Everyone's excited for the moment. But yeah, I think it would be cooler to get more guys out there and involved.
Yeah, and it's totally fine if it's just on Sunday too. In semi-pro, they don't even. Oh, they do actually, but in the lower divisions, they don't even play overtime in the prelims. It's just a tie, and then on Sunday they obviously play overtime. Shout out to the Discord.
And I disagree with that as well. Let the kids play. Let them like how it's like it's totally. 5 minutes. Totally. It's like I know there's schedule involved, but it's like let people decide it on the field.
Yeah. I agree. Shout out to the Discord too. We do have a few questions before we let you go. Pat Kraft is waiting to hop on as well. But Osborne for this actually asked the same thing about the one-on-ones. I didn't even realize that he asked that. So I love when the Discord is in sync with what Tyler and myself are thinking. But yeah, it was what would you prefer, best 3 of 5 or just one? I think we would all prefer best 3 of 5. That's next on my list to petition with Tom. And Ryan, you made a fantastic point that is one of the most iconic games of all time. And it was for 11th place. It was in the Challengers division. It was at World Cup and it was Dynasty versus Infamous, which is an iconic rivalry, but still you're right. It wasn't even like the main finals, which, I think was Art, Chaos, and Damage that year.
I don't even think it was on the main field.
It wasn't. It was not on the main field. Yeah, it was on the field over. I remember that those stands being more busy than the pro final one. It was crazy. But that's a great point. Those one-on-ones, I mean, the video of that match is definitely one of the most iconic videos of all time, and everyone talks about it because it was so intense. But
just Sunday, Sunday,
yeah, just Sunday. That's we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. PTG makes moves around here.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
I got one next to Damage Field. Man, we got to finish it.
Okay. That means Impact gets to go back and redo theirs too.
Yep.
That's true. Shoot. All right.
We got
more paintball.
That's it, dude. More paintball. We got Mark Paris in the PTG Discord, and he's wondering, let's give PTG World the exclusive. What milled marker is dropping and when? Let's see it.
Ooh.
Let's see it. I hope I don't get in too much trouble here. We should have a milled Planet Eclipse marker 100% before the next event, but more than likely in half that time.
Nice, dude. You heard it here first.
That's the next one.
Hey,
there you go, Mark.
Go follow Project PB on the IG. Make sure you guys are keeping up with them. Love what you guys have been doing, man. Project is it's definitely a dope brand. Those latest pants, by the way, I was a little upset. Archie didn't. He's brought me every time you guys have released pants. Archie's hooked it up with a pair. These last ones were like one of my favorite designs, and you didn't have my size. I was so sad.
Oh, we got you covered, dude. We got you covered.
Nice. That's I love those. Those they look really
looking good for the next event.
Nice.
I tried, dude. He was trying to get him on Harry and all this people. Like, should we get him on Marcelo? And he's like, I was like, look at he's like, this guy's gonna be playing every point. He's like, oh, these other guys are playing good. And I go, Archie, let me coach you. Marcelo's gonna be out there in the final. Don't you?
Damn it, dude. Damn it. I was this close.
Yeah.
All right. We've got, let's see. Let's go with Clint Riddle. Ryan, how do you handle the stress or guilt that may come from certain decisions made? Do the good choices outweigh the bad?
Okay. Damn, brutal question. No, not pulling the punches. I approach it, coaching probably in a way that you have to as a player. And you can't go out there scared of making the wrong decision, or you just will. Yeah. And I'm going to make bad decisions, and I'm going to lose points, for my team by setting them up incorrectly. And if so facto, I'm going to lose matches at times. But I just have to play with confidence, or, coach with confidence, trust myself that I'm making the right decisions. And the only way I can do that is through hard work and studying and being confident that I am making the correct decisions based on, what I'm doing, just like you guys, by practicing hard and doing your homework, that you're making the right moves on the field. But so there's not a lot of, probably the same level of stress that as a player, that whether or not you should make that run through or not, and stay there and just kind of, and wait and play safe that moment. Like, I got to make the same decisions, but Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. If I'm right more than I'm wrong, we win.
That's it, man. Yeah, and hats off to, you as an amazing coach. Shout out to all the coaches out there because it is a very difficult task. And I got to show love to Todd Martinez. He's working his ass off, and the guy, him and Pat really go above and beyond to give us the best opportunity. And that's what you're trying to do as a coach, is give your players the absolute best opportunity to go out there and win those points and win a tournament. And like you said earlier, you can't pull the trigger out there. You can't make the moves. But what you can do is hardwire your team with the best information possible to make good decisions and connect with each other out there. And as long as, which you, obviously Coach Tizzle and the top coaches do, is they prepare their players for war, man, for every circumstance.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Ty, do you have another question? I've got one more from the Discord.
Yeah, we got Dan Checkley. Shout out to Dan. Ryan, what is it like having the best head of hair in paintball? And what hair products do you use to tame that mane? Asking for a friend. It's me. I'm the friend.
Man, I wish someone asked me this question on the Stick and Span show so I could lie and get away with it. But I don't know, Marcel, you want to take this away? Or
I mean, look, you held the throne for so damn long. I just had to come through and snatch it right up.
Damn.
I don't know. The flow was looking pretty nice at the wedding, but I don't know. Maybe yours looks nice more consistently. So I don't know. Are we going for consistency or like who has a higher ceiling?
All-time peak. All-time peak. Yeah, Tyler, I'll give you the rundown here. But I guess it was at Round Rock that Marcelo comes up to me, he takes his headgear off, his hair is going like 100 different directions. And he's like, and he's just showing me that his hair is growing out the flow. And he's like, I'm coming for you, I'm coming. And I look at his hair, and it's just like, he had a beanie on or something all day. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. Like, are you serious? So fast forward like 3 weeks, and we get to Archie's wedding. He walked in and just was fucking my hair up, and I just didn't know what to do. He had me shook for the next 3 days. The fact that I got Archie's best man speech out was I just had to put my blinders on and not look at Marcelo. But yeah, I've been dethroned. I have now the second best hair in paintball. And I just think the headgear gods that Marcelo's got to keep it strapped up for most of the time.
Damn. I mean, that might be the best competition that I think I've ever won. I feel like that's the unbeatable goat that I just took down. I remember Paintball Access back in the day, like 10 years ago, had the whole best hair in the game. And I think we were kind of pitted against each other in that. And you won, I'm pretty sure.
I had you out then, but now you got me.
It's been on my mind ever since. It's been on my mind ever since.
Every World Cup trophy you stole from me, you're like, because of the hair, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It goes deep.
I love it.
Damn.
Well, damn, that was the question that I was going to ask. So I'm out of questions. I'm glad you took that one.
Yeah, and we can't thank everybody enough for tuning in and being a part of the show, and also being a part of the PTG World Chat. It's amazing, everybody tapping in. And Rye, you're PTG fan, man. We're so grateful to have you in the community as well, dude, and everything that you do for paintball, and not just obviously for the sport, but just as a complete ambassador in the Texas area and making sure that everyone is having fun playing the game out there. We can't thank you enough for everything that you do, bro.
Oh, 100%, man. Just happy to support the show, avid listener. Keeps my paintball itch going, and there's a lot of knowledge in here. Like, even for someone like myself who's been doing it for a long time, a lot of stuff to learn from all the guests who come on the show. So I can only imagine some people's eyes just get opened up all the time, or their ears for that matter.
And ours too, man. Like, that's the greatest thing is we learn every single episode, tapping in with everybody, and we can't wait to see you in hopefully sooner than a couple months. Hopefully we'll see you around at a paintball event or maybe a 10-man or something. But we can't wait for obviously Chicago, and keep this ball rolling.
For sure.
Yeah, baby.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah.
Later, bro.
Later.
Bye.
Ryan Brand, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
I love that guy. He really is. He's awesome. Every time he comes on the show, I'm just impressed. Every time he does any sort of interview, I'm impressed. I appreciate his ability to, again, like I said already, just kind of be open and a little bit vulnerable. It's really good for the listeners. It's unique.
Yeah, it's not easy to talk about that
No.
stuff. It's like a fresh wound, just coming off the tournament a couple weeks ago. But it really gives you a good look into how he's processing information and making those decisions. And it's very interesting to hear how it all happened in real
Totally.
time,
Yeah.
because a lot of people had a ton of questions about that.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, like I get it totally. When I coach my teams, when people are giving input in the pit and certain players are super convinced of something, even if you don't agree with it, you're kind of like, you know what, we have to do this because you believe in it so much. And that's not always good. It's not always good. So it's a difficult thing. And I'm sure they'll change around that process. And that probably won't happen in that pit again. It'll be kind of pit etiquette to let the coach decide what he thinks is best in that moment. But certainly a interesting thing there for sure. But I love what he said about, you got to be like a player, just if you make the wrong call, wrong play, you got to move on. You can't beat yourself up over it. Cause really sometimes it's just a little bit of a dice roll too. So sports are like that, nothing is guaranteed in sports.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how it be. But our boy Pat has been waiting. We went a little longer than we thought with Ryan Brand. I could talk to him for hours on end. And I'm sure we'll have him on again here soon. But let's give the old boy Pat Kraft, who was out in Boston with us, a call. Let's see.
PK.
PK 5.
PK 5.
Yeah.
PK 5. What's up, dude?
What up, dude?
What up, boy?
We live.
What
Yeah.
Live? Where?
You're on the air.
You are
bro.
on the air, brother.
Oh, what's up, boys?
Dude, it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you too.
What's
yeah,
going
haven't
on?
seen you in a while.
Yeah. What's going on
I
in
had
your
the
world?
pleasure of staying with Marcelo all weekend. It was a lovely time.
It really was,
no.
actually. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You and Kyle were fun to hang out with all weekend. And there was some excellent work accomplished for the Team USA tryouts.
Yeah, honestly, it was a really good time. Super inspiring. It was amazing to watch. Shout out to Ant and Lori for putting that on and making it possible for those kids. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of, involving paintball, honestly. But yeah, things are good over here on the East Coast. I'm just chilling, working, grinding. That's it.
There we go. Yeah, talk to me about what made the experience so memorable, and obviously being able to have a role in these young players coming up through the ranks and being able to play for Team USA in the Nations Cup is a huge deal. And there's so many paintball players that want to make that team. But what was it about that experience that was so special for you and being able to be out there and helping?
It was so special because I saw like a lot of my old self and all these like young kids that are like literally getting after it. Like I don't know. It was just really cool to see the level of play that these kids could, achieve. And under it's a high pressure situation. Like you're you are playing at the Nations Cup. It is, it's the biggest stage. And Marcelo was talking to me about it, saying how like, how it's like a finals match, every single game. And I was like, just thinking about how lucky these kids are to be, able to be in the moment and, go and achieve something like that. Like I would have died for something like that when I was young, like at 16, 17, being able to travel to, another country to put USA on your chest and like get after it. Like, that's the ultimate goal, honestly. So it, what made it so special to me though, is like I said, I saw a lot of myself in these kids, and they were really grinding, and they didn't give up. Like, honestly, it was really cool to see how much positivity they had at such a young age and how much desire. And like, I thought there would be like at least one kid that was like, he's a bad egg, or he gave attitude, or he didn't want to hear like the input from, one of the coaches, but there was none of that. Every single kid was a sponge. They took in every single thing they could. They asked questions. They asked the right questions. It was really cool, man.
Dude, I agree. I was so impressed with all of the players' attitudes. To me, that's a huge thing. It's a huge part of the selection process. We opened up Saturday morning, letting them know that we were looking for good teammates. Probably first and foremost, being a good teammate is a very important thing. And it's a huge element of, we're trying to bring this group together in just one weekend. We have the tryout weekend and then 1 weekend of practice, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we go to Paris. We're off to France to compete with each other in a different country where, the cards are definitely stacked against you. Everyone's rooting for all of the other teams. It's loud. It's a little wild. Like the Nations Cup final for the U19s event last year was insane. Like I truly felt we were at a World Cup final in the United States. It's like a, full stadium, cement stadium. So you've got all the stairs and then a big kind of awning that comes out over the top of it. So it echoes like crazy. It's really loud. You need to have, people that are going to be able to come together and have each other's back and be, like I said, good teammates. If you want to succeed, and all of the kids exhibited that, like truly through and through. I definitely have some very tough phone calls to make this week. We have not finished or finalized the selection process yet. You guys will probably be listening to this on Wednesday. We should have that wrapped up here pretty soon, and gonna have to make some tough phone calls. But at the end of the day, I do know that we're going to see all of these kids if they stick with it. Some of the kids were so young, 13, 14, if they stick with it, we are going to see these kids on the pro field. No doubt in my mind, just all committed, hungry, have all the right tools, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah. How many players were out there?
We had 30.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
30 players, and I believe we're going to be bringing 15, maybe 16. So got to, go through the selection process. And, it's also, one of the interesting things about selecting too is one player might be an overall better player than another player, right? But if that certain position is already stacked, then you're going to go with a player that maybe is a little less well-rounded, but is needed for a different spot, So it's not necessarily, if you make it or don't make it, it's not necessarily about your personal ability. It's kind of just about, fitting with the team and what the team needs. So it's a long process, again, we went out Saturday night, had some long conversations about how everybody did. And, again, I think kind of like what Pat said, it's inspiring, it's inspiring to see these kids that remind us of ourselves. I wish there was an opportunity like that too. When we were younger, could you imagine going over to Europe to play for Team USA U19s? Oh my goodness. That would have been a feast. That would have been so dope. That would have been so much fun. The Team USA program, it's truly one of the more honorable things that we've done in our careers, right? Like some of my favorite events are winning with Team USA. One of the most cherished events that I have is 2013. I remember I wasn't selected for Team USA, but I was over there in France playing semi-pro with a team, and it was Tim Montresor, rest his soul, that was walking by, and Oliver didn't show up to the event. And he's like, "Hey, Marcelo, do you want to play with Team USA? Like, we need a body." Oliver dropped out. I'm like, "Yeah, what do you mean? Of course I do. Absolutely." So that was my first experience with Team USA, and we went all the way through. We won. I personally played pretty good, I thought, had some big moments, and it was just an epic to see players that are usually your rivals, right? Usually the ones that you're competing against all come together because of the name on the chest, right? And really enjoy the process. Your teammate Ryan Moorhead was over there, and he was one of the just brightest souls. That's when I was like, man, this is so cool. These dudes are so passionate about Team USA and this group coming together. And it's like kind of us against the world. Is really unique opportunity. And it's a fortunate thing that these kids get to fight for.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, who's your favorite player that you saw this weekend, PK?
Oof, that's really hard. That's a really tough question. I think the person that stood out to me the most immediately, wouldn't say my favorite player. I have a couple kids that I have like close relationships back with at our home field, so it's kind of difficult to say that. But the kid that stood out the most to me, his name was Evan Middleton.
Young Evan, dude.
Oh. Yeah, he's a stud, man. He's gonna be something someday. I'm telling you, if he sticks with it, just like Marcelo said, if they stick with him, man, I think he's gonna be really something special. I saw a lot of like Archie in him, like in his movement patterns. I saw a little bit of Yosh in him, with the way he was clutching out games and making moves down the field and turning the side. He had a lot of high IQ paintball. He was great off the break. Like, it was crazy, man.
was
There we
really fun to watch. It was really fun to watch.
Evan is 13 years old, just turned 13 recently. He's from NorCal, and no joke, he's been to a bunch of the different combines and camps and stuff. He shoots somebody off the break 90% of the time. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and that's not even a joke. I think he's the best off the break shooter I've ever seen. Tyler, do you remember Frankenstein from the Russian Legion?
Yeah.
Like guaranteed kill off the break. Like
Yep.
that's Evan. And he's not,
Yeah.
Shooting against pros that are much better at running routes and diving and stuff like that. But the percentage in which he gets kills off the break is absolutely insane. And then beyond that, he communicates. I'm not kidding. It's remarkable when you meet him, when you see him off the field and you meet this kid, and then you see him on the field, you go, that's not the same person. He's too young. There's no way that's that person. The way he communicates, how loud his voice is, the things he says, it's incredible,
Questions he asks,
yeah. And he's fearless. He makes moves. Like the kid is a really bright light in the sport of paintball. And if he sticks with it, that's always the thing, right? They're so young. So much could happen between now and by the time he's 20 years old, different passions, things happen. But if he sticks with it and stays on the path he's on, he is going to be one of the greats for sure. He's definitely one of the ones.
Dude, let's go, Evan.
Yeah, Evan Middleton, dude. Love that kid.
Shout out to NorCal one time. Let's go.
Shout out to NorCal one time. Yeah. Yeah, Pat, I thought you were going to say Nate because you gave Nate your jersey for being one of the, best teammates and most passionate.
He reminded me the most of myself as a young kid. Like he had excellent swag, shout out to Nate. Super cool swag. He was he was always getting his teammates up. Like he'd be the one that kind of hyped them up for the points, bring them in and be like, hey, yo, we're trying out for Team USA. Like, let's go. He had he had a rare chip on his shoulder that you don't see really at a young age like that. Or you do, but just it was at that time, I really saw it and it stood out to me. He was one of my favorites too. Like I could say something nice about every single one of those kids.
Totally.
They were great kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost unfair to choose one. Literally every single kid I saw just really special things from throughout the weekend. Yeah, totally.
Well, y'all keep it up.
It was amazing, man.
I can't wait. We're all going to be out there rooting you on and rallying for the U17, U19 USA team, and we can't wait to see y'all dominate.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, we do.
Let's see, Pat. We have some questions from the Discord here.
We'll do it.
Yeah, Discord is lit. People are very excited. Mark Paris wants to know, Pat, what is the dynamic of Rich being the coach of NYX but not being in the pits with you during your matches?
I mean, I know he's actually he's in 2 of our games in the prelims now. Like he's in 2 out of 4.
Nice.
But I mean, the dynamic is that he's leaving us gems on the webcast. So when we go home and we rewatch our games, it's nice to be able to hear what he thinks. And so when you really, you don't really have that unless you have team meetings and stuff with your coach after the fact, which we do. We have team meetings every Thursday. But it's obviously we want him in the pit. But he's got other obligations right now. But yeah, it's nice because like I said, he leaves those little tidbits on the film, and when I'm watching, I can really internalize it and maybe even pause the film and think about, hey, what should I have done here? Why did I do this? Go over the transitions in the game that I remember in my head. And it's actually kind of nice. But I mean, obviously, we want him in the pit.
Yeah. I've noticed that just watching NYX games and the way that Rich communicates on those particular games, that he's leaving y'all gems to listen to later. And, I absolutely love Rich. He was one of my first coaches ever as a young player coming up in NorCal there. So the guy knows the way that paintball's played. He's really intelligent and knows the way paintball games break down. So having him in your corner is a tremendous boost to the organization.
Oh, 100%. I honestly think it's a huge part of our success this year. Obviously, I mean, you can't say enough about him and what he brings to the squad and the accountability he brings to every single player and making us work out and making us, bringing that physicality aspect to another level. Yeah. He's got us all on a regimen. He's pushing us to do more. I mean, he's just a great influence in our organization. And like I said, he's one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, that we're doing so well this year. Him and Dan Lee, obviously, and Bo Milo, but
Yeah, well, damn, I freaking love that. So he's got y'all on a team regiment working all together, and you even kind of brushed over something. You said every Thursday you have a team meeting. What does that mean? Like literally every Thursday?
I mean, I shouldn't really. I mean, it's team info, but yeah, we've been doing new things this year. I've been trying to get the guys together every single week to kind of go over film and watch our opponents as we lead into the event, just because it gives us an edge.
Of course.
And
No, it's
honestly, I want other people to know that we're
yeah. Give that man his flowers. Give him some
Let's
clap.
go, New York.
We're watching you. So when we play you, we have everything on lock. We know your number. We know where you're going, what you're doing, what kind of role you play. So yeah, we meet every single Thursday. We go over our film, our mistakes.
You're watching 12 and 33. We know this. We know this.
I was thinking you guys are like the 2 out of the 3 losses we have this year is against your team and both your teams. So yeah, we're definitely watching. I mean, I'm watching Dynasty a lot right now. So.
Dude, you guys are playing outstanding team paintball, and anybody that plays you, we were just talking to Ryan Brand, anyone that plays you and doesn't give you the respect on that name and on that jersey is highly mistaken going into that game, because, it comes down to how bad do you want it? Are you putting in the work? Are you playing good team ball? And you guys are checking all the boxes. And the belief, that confidence is a whole other thing. And when a team starts to see that belief and that confidence, the sky is the limit, and good things can be accomplished through that. So it doesn't surprise me, that we're seeing this kind of accomplishments, going towards New York with the amount of effort and work that you're putting into, connecting with each other, playing lots of paintball, working out. It's not rocket science, right? If you really apply it, you're going to get good things coming from that. And I guess the next big step is just, consistently being in that top 4 and taking home a trophy, because that is the big thing that New York has yet to do, is to bring home a trophy. And I know we have a question here in the Discord from Elam Z Pat. After finishing last season 14th, you guys have been in the top 5 each event this year. What do you guys need to do to make the next step from consistent quarterfinals, semis, to making the finals and getting a win?
I think the answer to that is something that you touched on, is it's belief and confidence. I've never felt so confident as last event, and like going into Sunday. I've only felt the feeling of like, truly believing in my team that we could win a pro event like 2 or 3 events over the past, 4 or 5 seasons. And this past season, I've really felt that we could win, at least all 3. But this one, especially in Philadelphia, like Saturday night, we had a good team meeting. We stayed long all day. We did the extra work. We had our team meeting on the field. We went over our assignments. We watched film. I really think it is. We're understanding how dangerous we can be, and with that confidence, that comes belief in the guys, and the fact that we can actually win an event. And I think that's really the next step for us, is just believing it to our core. And then coming out and, preparation, meeting that moment, and it's showtime, and it's on. And we're going to seize it one day, and it's going to be amazing. But I think that's what it really is. I think it's belief and confidence that we can actually win a tournament.
Yeah, that's first of all, there's a thing about learning how to win, right? And once you guys do that, it does change the game a little bit. So the way you answered that question might be similar to how you answered this question, going from team to personal, but I do like it, so I'm going to ask it. Cyrus wants to know, what do you think is holding you back from becoming the next tier of pro player, and what are you doing to change that?
Good question. I think it's hard work and just discipline. I mean, I've put in a ton of work this year, and I've gotten to the level that I'm at, but I'm not comfortable with where I'm at. And I'm pushing forward even more. I'm adding more things to my repertoire. I'm adding more things to my training. Like today I was out snapping. I snapped, 1,500 shots at 3 different targets. I was working on my footwork. I'm working on every deficiency that I have and identifying it and being honest with myself. And the longer I do that for a consistent amount of time, eventually I'm going to break through. I had this guy reach out to me. He's a private sponsor. He sent me a bunch of goodies and stuff that I'm working on for like my reflexes, my hand eye. He gave me like some recovery stuff. It literally is just elevating every single aspect of, being a professional athlete. And like, we don't have the leisure of having a huge organization behind us and holding us accountable every single day, And so me as myself, I've had to like look within and understand like, hey, this is why I'm lacking and I have to fix this, and no one's going to make me fix it. No one's going to, pay me more to fix it. I have to, if I want to be that guy, if I want to be him who I say I am, I have to take it to the next level in every single aspect. So I think that's what's holding me back. But I am working on it like tirelessly. So I don't think it's going to be long. And I hope it isn't.
Yeah. And just staying consistent. And that's what makes you Himothy. That's how you become Himothy, right? Is like,
that's right,
being
baby. Himmy.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. No, man, it's been fun to watch you. It's been fun to watch you over the years, and same with New York as a whole. I've always been a huge fan of New York. And, when we're in PTG world, I got my fan hat on, and, obviously when we play paintball against each other, I have my competitors hat on, and it's a different energy, but you should know that what you guys have accomplished and, the legacy that you're leaving will not be forgotten for a long time. And it's been something very inspirational to the whole Northeast as a whole, to be able to watch that organization go from 14th place to even, fighting for relegation to stay in the league, to now, as of this season, being one of the teams in the top 8, in the top 5, looking to make a push into the finals. And, with enough hard work and dedication, and we talk about working smart and working hard and applying yourself, you guys, there's nothing that can stop you if you guys keep with this, trajectory that you're on.
Yeah, we're not done. I'm telling you right now. And as a captain on the team and just wanting the best for all the guys around me, I'm stepping up, and I'm making, I'm trying to bring the best out of everybody around me in a positive way. And like, that's what leaders do, and that's what great players do. They bring the best out of everybody around them. And I know I can elevate. The only way I can elevate the team is I work on my own deficiencies, and I try to help everybody around me. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what we're doing. And it's amazing to see what hard work and dedication and just true resilience can do. Because like, no one knows, but last event we didn't have our starting snake player because a bunch of stuff. We didn't have one of our best players at practice, one of our quarterbacks. We faced so much adversity last event, and I honestly was kind of nervous. And then we went in, we put the hurt on some people. So I honestly think when we're healthy and everybody's locked in, sky's the limit. And everyone's gonna see it's coming. So.
What time frame do you have for you guys to win an event until you deem it to be unsuccessful or a little bit of a failure, I guess, in the sporting sense?
I mean, I want to do it this year, but I understand that this year, no matter, unless we start like not making Sunday, that would be a failure to me this year. Obviously, I want to win an event this year, and I think we can do that. But our goal this year was to consistently make Sunday and have a chance to win every single tournament. So far, 3 out of 3, we've done decently at that, right? Mm-hmm. We've fallen short every single time. But we're learning from our mistakes. We're going back to the drawing board, and we're working harder. Our coaches would, they're putting the pressure on us. We're they're making us work harder, and it's just good for us. So I think with the consistency and all that, I think we can honestly do it within the next year. If it's a failure, it wouldn't be the end of this year. I think a failure would be the end of next year, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. Yeah, it's reasonable for sure. You guys are on the trajectory of that as well.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm telling you, bro. If you felt, I know you guys have had, plenty of moments in this game that are, I've never felt so alive than I did in Philly. Just the chance to win and the feeling and the vibe and everything. It's just different this year, man. It's so different. And I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Hell yeah, man. And what kind of pressure does your coaches put on you guys, or what kind of tactics are they using to keep you guys working harder? And then also, you said that you're also, driving the wheel as the captain and making sure that your players are inspired. What are some tactics that you use as well as the coaches to make sure that everybody's putting in the most effort?
Well, the coach is doing a great job of just holding us accountable and just not letting us get complacent with our recent successes, which is not really successful because we haven't won a tournament. Like, I love that you guys, shout us out that like, hey, we're on a good trajectory and we're doing better this year. That's all fun and fine. But the guys on my team and myself, we're not here to, and Rich and Dan, they are not here to lose. Like, we're not here to lose. And so we're falling short. So they're holding us accountable. They're not putting pressure on us like in a negative way. It's just, it's helping us. It's aiding us in the right direction.
Sure.
It's everything coaches need to do. It may feel, like they're coming down on you and they, hey, you can't do anything right. And, oh man, my coach doesn't think this of me. But like, dude, you need someone like that in your corner. You need someone doing that to push you to the next level. At least I do.
I agree.
And I love what Rich is doing.
Yeah.
He's texting me. He's like, hey, did you do this drill I asked you to do? Oh, why is it taking so long? Let's go. Get it to me now. Get the video to me now. Like, what are you doing? Like, he's just on top of me. It's like I said, I have a 1,000 things going on. And, if I think I'm doing my best, he's always there to be like, no, you're not doing your best. Like, you need to do this more. You need to do this. Same thing with that private sponsor. He's been hitting me up and making sure I'm putting in more work every single day and just feeding me that confidence. It's amazing, man, what the coaches are doing. Dan Lee is doing a great job too. And what was the second part of that question? What was I doing?
Yeah, just as the front runner of the squad, just different ways that you keep.
Yeah. So what I'm doing for the squad is I'm leading by example. It's the only way I know how to lead successfully. I just I'm the first one to. We got back from our tournament on Sunday. I did a HIIT workout. I did 150 burpees the day we got back. Monday morning, I was the first one to be in the group chat. I pulled the team in together on Sunday afternoon, made them all promise about, what we were going to put into this next event because there's kind of a long layoff and I didn't want people to get complacent and take time off. Like, I want to see the course this year. I want to stick it out and I want to be consistent. So, I'm just leading by example. I'm being the first to send the HIIT workout. I'm being the first to be like, hey, we have a meeting on Thursday night. What are we doing? Like, let's get locked in. Like, what are we going to try to accomplish? I want to see us reap the benefits of this hard work, man. Cause I'm telling you, like, we put so much into it this year. And yeah, I really think that if we all stay dedicated and locked in, like we are for the next, 79 days we got, till the next event. Not that I'm counting or anything. I think we can do something special. So I'm really excited. But yeah, like I said, I'm just leading by example. I'm just working harder and I'm just showing all my teammates like in the group chat, like that, hey, this is me. I'm doing this. I don't need you to do more than me, but I'm doing this. So hopefully it creates some inner like competition that's healthy within the camp and pushes the guys to do more every day.
It absolutely will. It most definitely will. And it'll only make you and everyone around you better, so that's extremely important.
Absolutely. Pat, I have one more question from the Discord. It's from CM Harry. He says, Patrick, as a huge fan of NYX, I'm happy to see you guys playing like this. What is the best change that has happened to the team in this last year?
I mean, a couple of things. I think negativity leaving the team, and overall the team cohesion. Fighting for the guy next to each other. That has gone tremendously through the roof. Like we're there for each other. We're best friends. We want to help each other. There's no negativity in the pit. It's straight positivity. It's, hey, how do we provide a solution for this problem that we're facing right now? And we're not wasting any time. I think that's the biggest thing, is that we've stopped wasting time on the negatives and focused on providing solutions as fast as possible. You can see it in our pits. When we come in, yeah, we're hyped. We're having a good time, but instantly we're having those small conversations of those little nuances of the game that we're in, and we're trying to figure it out. the old NYX would have came in, smashing their gun, hitting their hopper, or arguing about like this guy that came off a job, even if we won the point, none of that stuff happens anymore. Someone gets a penalty. All right, hey, shake it off. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We need you. Someone who has a bad point. All right, hey, shake it off. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
You're going to be up next. This is your point. It's just we're not wasting time on that negative stuff anymore. We're just being positive. It's really a breath of fresh air.
Very important. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's only one way to go. It's like, what are we going to do? Which way are we going to move? You have to move appropriately and, not too high, not too low. Just keep moving in the right direction. And if bad stuff happens, you got to move through that with the same grace as when the good stuff happens. It's something that is a difficult thing to learn how to do. But if the whole entire team gets on board, it's super empowering as you move into those events. All right, I got another one from Lords AJ. Pat, put you on the spot here. You said you were fired up when Connor Kelly got the Heat offer, and you didn't get any offers. You'll definitely get the offers this offseason. Anyone you hope makes an offer?
No, I'm happy where I'm at. And I didn't get mad that Connor got the Heat offer. It inspired me to do more because I saw what he was doing in the off season and how it paid dividends in his that year with ML Kings. It wasn't that I got mad at. I wasn't jealous or selfish. I had a couple people say something to me about that. Sorry if I came off wrong there. I definitely did not. I am not jealous of Connor. I'm so happy for the kid. I love seeing my friends succeed, especially people that put, hard work and dedication into the same game that I'm in. But no, man, I'm happy where I'm at. If they do come, obviously I'll, it is what it is. I'll get to that when it happens, and I'm not stressing about it. Nothing. I'm all in with NYX this year. I'm just focused on this year, unfortunately. So sorry to not have an answer for your question, buddy.
No, I mean that totally is an answer, and like I understood what you meant when you had said that. It was more like not that you were upset you didn't get an offer because you were looking for something. It's more of like, do people not respect what I'm doing or where I'm at? And it's a little bit of a reality check. Like, maybe teams don't value me the way that I value myself. And so I got to prove myself a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a healthy chip on my shoulder.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I'm with you on that. It was funny. Alex Frazee, I think at the last event, or maybe it was at practice, he's like, you know that I've never, ever gotten an offer from another team. And I was like, Alex, that's actually a compliment, dude. That's a compliment. It's because people realize how Dynasty's your baby. It's your team. You're not going anywhere. And he's like, no, it's bullshit. I was just dying laughing. He's like, everyone else has gotten offers, Yosha with the Ironman and Ryan, Oliver, obviously, not me. Nope. Damn.
I can hear him saying it too. It's so funny.
We love you, Alex.
That guy's the best. Shout out to Eggman.
Absolutely. Really though, I do look at it as a compliment, right? It's like people realize you're so loyal to an organization, you don't get offers, and I think that's great, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty profound what that man has accomplished with that organization for so many years, and I think is he the only one that has been there the whole time? Him and Ryan, I guess.
Him and Ryan, Ryan as well. Ryan has turned down tons of offers.
Yeah,
Ryan has definitely stayed loyal to the soil.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, Pat, let's see. You got anything else for us? Any inside news? Anything fun? Any hot, juicy rumors before we let you go?
Come
on, bro.
Not really.
Give us something good, dude. How about this? Let's talk about the our generation versus your generation. All the money on the line. What Kyle was talking about.
Kyle's kind of crazy for that. I don't know why he'd be running his mouth like that. But I mean, it would be a good game. I think you guys would like I said, you guys would win 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, but probably 7 out of 10. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, let's let the listeners know what we're talking about. So Kyle Berry over the weekend was like, I wonder who would win, like our generation versus your generation. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we're pretty close, and especially in age, but it's definitely like a different era. So I'll get to the chase. We cut down to like Tyler. Our generation is like me, you, Mouse, Rainey, Dalton. Keith Brown and Jacob Edwards would be part of their generation. So ours would. Who am I missing? I'm missing one.
Rainey.
I thought I said Rainey. Me, you,
okay.
Mouse. Oh, J-Rab. He's part of our generation. I'm sure I'm missing some, but there's 6. Those are 6 hitters right there, right? Versus their generation, which would be Jacob Edwards, hitter. All hitters for sure. Keith Brown, Pat, Kyle Berry, Harrison Fry, Joe Barrett. Was there anyone else big that we were talking about? I feel like it was like those 6 and those 7 that we were going back and forth on.
Yeah, it was pretty much that.
Yeah. I'm just saying it'd be a dunk contest.
Yo, stop it, bro. Yo,
we gotta line this thing up. We gotta line it up.
Line it up. That's what I was like, Kyle. I guarantee you, we could get. I know
pay-per-view.
I know that we could get a whole bunch of money behind us. I'll just hit up, Hinge, Sean, and be like, yo, we can make some money real quick. Let's see how much they're willing to match and just put it all on the line. One big game on Go Sports. You know what I'm talking about?
That would be fun, bro. That would be fun.
So tight. You know what I'm talking about? We could even invite the old generation too. We could even invite, Ryan, Alex, Yosh, Thomas Taylor, Mark, all the old ones. We could do like a little, round robin kind of tournament.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Damn. That'd be insane.
That'd be tight. I kind of feel like Archie's in our generation too, because him and I turned pro the same year. Tyler turned pro before us. He's a little older, but I think he's our generation too. I don't know. He's 37, so maybe he's no, I think he's our generation. You guys are toast.
How old are you, Tyler? Actually, my dad asked me that today.
I'm 34.
34.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm 29, about to turn 30. So I'm only 3 years behind you guys, 4 years behind you.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like as age-wise, same generation, but definitely different with the playing career, right?
Time we went pro, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's how we have to judge the generations for this battle royale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, this is my 21st pro season. I know Thomas did like a 20 years pro. I haven't done it.
Missed it.
I know.
You missed it, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
20 is a big one. Damn, 20 years, Tyler?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like this was my 18th pro season. Well, let's see.
It's insane. And it feels like I still remember being at that tryout for Bob Long, like it was yesterday. I still remember diving in the snake and crawling down and getting on the wire, and like all those memories are still there. It's insane.
Yeah, dude, that is crazy. This is my 18th pro season.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm ancient.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh,
dude,
man.
Seriously.
Yeah. That's insane.
My 5th pro season is nothing.
Well, hey, you're paving the way, dude. And
Yeah,
there's so many young pros out there, or young aspiring pros that look up to players like you, and all the pros out there who are, have a great presence in the sport. So just keep working hard, man, because it's been fun to watch your pro career. And I know you got great things on the horizon. And speaking of great things, we're going to be going to Vegas as well next year. Did you hear about that? NXL Vegas.
I'm excited for that. It's my favorite event.
Yeah. So
I love it.
That'll be event number 1.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's the best one. Nice weather. You never have any issues with rain or anything like that. It's a good time at the tables with the boys. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
Throw the dice.
All right, brother. Well, shoot, we have one more call that is coming in here in just a couple minutes. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you tremendously for coming out and helping the Team USA U19s and U16s tryouts. It was awesome having you there. A lot of the kids definitely look up to you, and it's cool to have you out. So hopefully we see you at more of those events.
For sure. Yeah, I hope to be at more of them too. I hope to be at the summer camp. I hope to be at everything in the future. So
nice.
It's gonna be good.
And where can everybody follow you at? Any plugs that you want to make? Drop them in there.
Pat Kraft 69 on Instagram.
Yeah. Shout out to all of our sponsors, GI, Planet Eclipse, Funky King, Poison Paintball. You can find me at Instagram, Patrick Kraft Jr. I'm making a bunch of reels now, so you can check out my highlights. Marcelo might be on one of those after this next event. But shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate you guys and what you guys do for the sport. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for having me on.
Nice, dude, all love for the game. See you, PK.
Later. Yes, all right, later, guys.
Peace.
Hey, PK.
Hell yeah. He's the best.
Did you see that video that I posted when we were watching film in the hotel?
No. What happened?
Oh, no. You didn't see that over the weekend? Oh, my God. It was hilarious. So Kyle was asking 10,000 questions. I love how inquisitive he is, but, sometimes it's like time to go to bed. Whatever. They pulled up some film because I had to prove Kyle wrong on something that he thought happened in a certain match. So, he pulls it up, and sure enough, I ended up being right. But it was Sunday in Orlando. And so I was like, why don't you just fast forward a little bit? And Pat was in the room too, obviously. I'm like, why don't you just fast forward a little bit? And he goes to our overtime point. I was filming Pat watching the overtime point. It was pretty funny. It was hilarious. I was like, so what did we learn? And it's just his face. They're both like stunned. He's like, gotta talk, yes, gotta communicate with your teammates so stuff like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
I mean, that was a move. That was crazy.
But he's right. Now I know he's looking for me to put me on his highlight reel on IG, so I'm gonna have to defend and not let that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it.
I think Cameron, is he ready to rock and roll here pretty soon?
He is, yes. But you said before, is there something you wanted to?
I just want to give a huge thank you to HK Army for everything that they do for the show. And if you haven't heard in the ad space, you can go and get custom jerseys done from them if you use code PTG and work with a crazy designer. I just want to show some love for all of our sponsors, Lone Wolf, Transfuse, HK, everybody who helps us support this show and keep these programs rolling. And for the love of the game, that's why we do it. And they're a tremendous reason that we're all able to have this show. So thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely, Ty. And also a big shout out to the Discord. Thank you to everybody that supports us by being active in the Discord and being part of the PTG community. We really appreciate it. If you guys have not checked it out yet, you can get a 7-day free trial and hop in there and kind of get a little taste. You don't get access to the GOAT section of the Discord, but you get access to everything else. You could ask questions on the show and talk to all of us and just kind of see what it's about. It's really an awesome thing we got going on. So
It is.
Thank you. Thank you to all the sponsors and, of course, all the supporters.
It's its own paintball city. The Discord is its own city. It's crazy in there.
Digital city.
It is. And we actually have the GOAT meeting on this Thursday, the 29th. So if you're not a GOAT, you want to check that out. We're going to have a crazy party, giveaways, wild madness. It's always going down in those crazy GOAT meetings.
Yeah, we're giving away like 4 or 5 Hormesis headbands, jerseys, goggle straps, all sorts of cool stuff. But you also get really neat inside info. You get to ask us questions that we probably don't normally answer on the show. It's definitely much more exclusive behind the scenes. We give you guys, a lot of the juice. So
yeah, it's more personal. Like we're just in there with the GOAT squad. So it's just us in there. And then, it's always shenanigans with, we got young Stevie popping off. Sometimes Paul's rapping in there. We got the Lord Paul Binion Sr. in there.
We need a montage of all of the funny moments from the GOAT meetings because there's just been some hilarious, iconic moments. My tree falling over is probably at top of the list right now.
Oh, yeah.
During Christmas time, literally just right back there, falling right over. We have a good time. It's a good time. You guys don't want to miss it. Yeah.
I can't wait for Thursday. All right, let's see. We got Cameron Bushby, the winner of the 1v1 duel at LVL Sports. Let's get him on the line.
Ring-a-ling-ling.
Let's go, Cam.
Hello,
Cam the man.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, dude. How
Doing
are
good,
you,
brother?
Doing good.
Heck yeah, you are. Dude, you're the champ.
Yeah, we're feeling all right. Been a good weekend, good couple days.
Yeah, man. That's amazing. So obviously, for everybody that doesn't know, this is Cameron Bushby from the Golden Vegas Misfits. And you just won the first Elite 1v1 duel at LVL Sports Park. And you claimed your spot to possibly win $10,000 at the finale in LA, I believe, at SC Village. So talk to us about what the experience was like and how was it out there at LVL?
Yeah, it was the whole experience, even from the start, was it was pretty fun. It was a pretty unique thing. I flew out to Illinois, kind of leading up to that. I grew up out in Illinois, so it was nice to fly out there, see family, and then me and my dad drove to LVL, got there early, looked at the field and all that, and then kind of Saturday it kicked it off in the morning with the joust, and then Sunday was the duel. So it was a pretty jam-packed weekend, but it was fun for sure.
Nice. Talk to me about the field. For anybody that doesn't know, explain what the field layout was like and what it was like to play on that particular kind of layout.
Yeah, the field layout, it's like the size of a tennis court. I think they were saying similar dimensions, so it's very jam-packed. It's similar, if people remember the Pro Tour that I'm pretty sure you played, where it was just, for this specific one, it was just small Aztecs and then cakes. But it's a very small field, super fast-paced, and especially with the format also, it things speed up very quick. But the layout's kind of unlike any other thing, because it's kind of hard to set it up. It's way more, I guess, it's way smaller than you would even just think about. So I do recommend going to check these out if you can, because the field is very unique.
Awesome. Yeah. What was it like? Like, did you have long drawn out points, pretty quick? What were the scores on these games?
For the duels, they were, I kind of started off a little slow on them, but it's race to 10. So you have quite a bit of paintball to play. So there's really no rush to push things too early, but the points kind of, even whenever you just stay at the first bunkers, you're still pretty close. So the points kind of go quick. I think around some of my points were, or games were like 10-4, 10-5, 10-6. Like they were, it's pretty back and forth the whole time, to be honest.
What do you think the average point time is? 15, 20 seconds?
Probably 20 seconds.
Damn,
if you don't count the aces. If you take out the aces, it's probably around 20 seconds.
Were there a lot of aces?
Actually, yeah. I figured people would be getting in there quick, but it's just, you have to throw a shot at the other person. There's no reason not to. And so sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. It was pretty common though towards the end, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to have to evolve a little bit, that they're going to have to evolve that just a tiny, tiny bit, because, when I saw the dimensions, I'm like, if you really practice this, your first ball, you're going to be able to pull up and shoot if you're caddy corner, right? You're going to be able to shoot that player every time, no matter really how fast they are. Did you have to touch your barrel to the start station?
Yeah. So it was a little different than like that original rule, but yeah, it's kind of, you know, you sometimes start where the gun's like to your side, where you're, I guess, to the side of the start box.
Yes. You
can't do that because the box is like the starting zone is in front of that. So it's kind of awkward if you're going to be going to the side. Like it's a little different than any lineup that you would do like in a normal 5-on-5. But yeah, you could still easily drill that and get that dialed in.
Totally. Yeah, I love how you have been preparing for this for what feels like months now. You know, you were really excited about going to this event. Talk to me a little bit about your preparation. I know you played some one-on-ones with Nick Laval, did a lot of drills with him out there in Colorado. But what was your prep like for this first event? Again, this is pretty massive, dude. I think this one-on-one elite tour truly can gain some notoriety. I think the way they're going to produce the whole thing is going to be really cool and exciting. And you won the first one, which is epic. So talk to us a little bit about your training, you know, leading up to it.
Yeah, even before like the layout was kind of out, whenever they were talking about this was something I really wanted to, you know, try and take advantage of. So I figured it was going to be fast paced, like one-on-ones. And even back from mentioning the Pro Tour again, it seemed like conditioning was kind of the main thing, or at least one of the main things. So I really kind of changed my like workout regimen and stuff to be gearing more for cardio and stuff like that and burst speed. Mm-hmm. And then just doing a lot of drills, a lot of closer range stuff, just because, I mean, everything is close. So I had to kind of gear to that a little bit. But I was setting up, once the layout got set up, I was reaching out. Daniel Camp lives out here also. So I got a weekend with him before he went down to practiced with the Hurricanes before this last event, and then also had a weekend with Nick Laval. So practicing with those two, I kind of got beat up on a little bit, but it was so nice to just see how things were feeling, what I like, kind of feel what I had to drill and practice, you know, whenever I was on my own time. But I appreciate the opportunity those two gave me a lot, because I think it really helped me prep and know what to think about coming into this event.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and they're gonna get your headspace right too, right? And knowing how to approach different situations and having good conversations in that regard. And then obviously playing one-on-one against other players who, you know, Nick's no slouch. That guy is a really good paintball player. So having that gun time to practice against an elite player is going to help you out a lot.
Yeah, it was a huge benefit, I felt. And that weekend, actually, when me and Nick were out there, was pouring rain the whole time. So not many people were out there playing, which was nice, because we took over a little section of the field. But it gave us a lot of time to kind of just talk in between points, cleaning off our lenses, to kind of really get the mental correct on like if this then that, just because the situations and stuff are so much different on this kind of layout. And I think it did, especially towards the end, it came to like thinking quick and having things already kind of thought out, you know, just like any other.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I know when I played the Pro Tour, it was similar. You know, I had we lose him?
We lost him.
Well, for everybody listening, I had a tactic that I implemented into playing the Pro Tour.
Your call has been forwarded to.
Oh boy, did his phone die?
I think
this whole
his
time
phone
he's been.
dead. But it is really important. You gotta have that, you know, that game plan.
Yeah, sorry about that. My connection's not the best out here.
You got to pay your phone. You got to pay your phone bill, bro.
I know. I'm on a couple plans right now.
A couple plans. You spent all that money going out to the one-on-one.
Yeah. Now I'm onto my new phone now. So
hey, it's all gonna pay off because you're gonna win out there in Southern California. Are you excited? What's the sentiment rolling into that final battle? You're gonna be, I'm sure, watching as much paintball as you possibly can, and hopefully, you know, you might even have a little bit of an advantage because you get to watch all of these other opponents play before you and pick up tactics from them and see how they have playing styles. So how are you approaching that finale?
Oh yeah, I'm excited for sure. And I do think it's an advantage to have this much time until that next event to be thinking about things and keep training. I will still be going out with the Vegas boys and playing with them. So the training's still going to keep going, but it will be nice to be able to watch these other people play, see how other areas, you know, maybe play the field a little bit different. So I'm excited to see and learn, see what everyone else is doing, you know?
Yeah. How long have you been playing paintball?
I've been playing paintball for, I think, 10 or 11 years since I was 12. Nice. And it's been a good time, but I recently just kind of really committed to playing tournaments again and stuff like that. And since really giving it my all, I've had a lot of great opportunity and met a lot of great people. So very grateful for how things have been going these past few years.
Dude, you've been absolutely crushing it. One of my favorite players to watch, a player that I actually learned things from. And you were our MVP at the last event, Premier Division, at WCPPL with the Vegas Golden Misfits. So, yeah, man, you've just been really inspiring a lot of people, myself included.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Got to keep the grind going.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. We're not there yet, though.
We're not there yet. Not even close. It's just getting started.
Yep.
Yeah. Stay hungry.
So excited for the journey.
That's what it's all about, man. And that's really the best thing about paintball is we talk about, like Matty Marshall always says, the gifts of the game, the relationships, the unique experiences. You know, there's nothing quite like being a paintball player. You know, I know it doesn't have the notoriety of these major sports, but that's kind of a blessing in disguise as well. You know, it's like there's so many unique gifts of the game that paintball provides in so many different ways, on and off the field, with relationships and connections. And that's why, you know, Marcelo and myself are still loving every second of being a part of this amazing community. And so many new players and returning players are finding the game again because they know the intrinsic value that this sport has on so many levels.
100%. You guys say that all the time, but man, these past couple of years, like I've met so many good people and done so many things I wouldn't have thought, and just things are just getting started. So I'm just excited to keep meeting people and see where this thing goes.
Let's go, Cam. Let's
Hell
go,
yeah,
baby.
You're the man, Cam. Drop everybody your Instagram. Let them know where they could keep up with all your stuff. I know you're going to be doing some cool stuff here in the future, and a lot of paintball action, and maybe hop on some more of those Hormesis one-on-one tours. But you'll definitely be at the final. Where can they find you?
First, make sure you guys are following Vegas Golden Misfits. Got to rep the boys, and then my Instagram is Cameron.Bushby. And then one last thing on the tour, I would recommend, even if you guys aren't playing the duel, for sure go and check out the joust at least on that Saturday. It was so much fun playing with the team, all that kind of stuff. I really recommend this event. Even just the Saturday was such a blast.
Awesome, dude. That's amazing. Yeah, I forgot. The joust is a totally different concept. We've never seen anything like it. It's the one-on-one that's team-oriented. It's really a badass idea where
it's mayhem.
Yeah, I bet for sure.
Never played with sideline coaching until that, and so it was it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's funny.
Damn.
Yeah, there's sideline coaching,
coach?
left side, right side. Yeah, it doesn't really. It's so close and open. It's not. I don't know that it helps a ton. Like you really got to just engage. But it's cool. It allows people to yell from the sidelines.
Atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, totally. Dude, it just looks so professional. I could see that being on
100%.
TV. Yeah, it just looks so good. Gosh, they're doing it.
Yeah, excited to see the content they put out for these.
Yeah, totally.
And also, I got to ask before you leave, what was it like having, Oliver's running around the country in this RV, and they're having a great time, as everyone can tell. They got Kevo rocking a King outfit and running around. So, what was that like?
Oh, it was every single person I met with the Hormesis group and all the people at LVL too. They were all such great people. They're a pretty cool group, and it was just a fun atmosphere. I do want to say though, at the end, once everything was over, I don't know if anyone there really even realized it, but I have to give props to Oliver. All the other people, like for the booth, everyone was kind of helping, doing things, but like after it was all said and done, Oliver's there by himself, spraying the bunkers, everything, spraying all the banners and getting everything tearing down by himself. And it was a pretty cool thing to see. He comes in, sets all this up, runs this cool event, and then he's the one doing the work too, taking it down. So it was it was a pretty cool thing to see.
Tremendous.
Awesome.
That is tremendous.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Cam,
on
thank
a mission.
you. Yeah, dude. 100%. Well, thank you, brother. I look forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks. We got to get back to work, back to practice, and go and try to win the 3rd WCPPL event.
There we go.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Seriously, this has been it's an honor. So thank you.
Of course, dude. Much
Keep
love.
crushing
brother.
it.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Let
you guys have a good one.
You too, bud. Peace.
Woo! That kid's
Yeah,
amazing.
Cam.
I don't know if you've ever actually met him in person. He's like just truly one of the most humble, honest, genuine, good kids. Like you meet him, and you just want him to succeed. He reminds me of Steven Pitts, like the way he plays.
Steve.
Dude, like Steven Pitts.
Wardo,
dude. So, and he wasn't even familiar with Steven Pitts when I first told him that. Like go watch some film of Steven Pitts. Just so smooth, super aggressive. Just would always kind of like find the seam, not over engage in gunfights, which I've been on him the last year to really start owning the gunfight and becoming really vicious in the gunfight, because he has this unique way of seeing the field and finding holes. So he doesn't have to engage, but there are times where if he was more comfortable and confident engaging, he's going to be just that much more deadly. And he's been working on it, and he goes out and wins the one-on-one, which is all gunfighting. So I'm super proud of him for that, because that's definitely not his area of comfort, and it's becoming his area of comfort. It's just awesome to see. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's in his early 20s. So
yeah.
He's attacking it right now,
Totally.
Gotta love that.
100%.
Gotta love that, Cam. Keep it up, dude.
Yes, sir. Well, damn, Ty, what a show. That was awesome. We had 3 amazing guests. We have episode 200 coming up.
Woo! 200.
200 is next.
All right. So I think we're just going to have mayhem calls and just call as many people as possible and just party.
Dude, let's just party. We're going to prank call people. Let's do it all, dude. Let's do it all. It'll be super fun.
Sounds good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So we'll be dropping that here shortly, and we
Yep.
can't wait to celebrate episode number 200 with you all. Thank you for being a part of this amazing journey, and we haven't missed a week ever. This is 200 weeks straight of PTG that we're coming up on here. Let's go.
Bro, look. I'm just going to
it.
go ahead and say thank you all for making this the #1 show in paintball.
Yeah, baby. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
Ty, it was a pleasure, dude. Love you.
Always.
And
Love you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. You be safe
As
out
always.
there. Everyone have fun and be safe.
Alrighty. Peace.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you would like to support the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link. It's the orange tab in the top corner. And become a member. If you become a member, you get instant access to the Discord. The Discord's amazing. You could also do a 7-day free trial if you'd like. If you just want to test the waters and see what the Discord's all about. Promise you, I didn't know what Discord was at first either. Thought it was kind of lame. Was, really unsure about it. But once we got it, after a couple months and I, learned how to use it, figured out how everything works, and we got people in there, it became one of my favorite things. So we love the Discord, and we would love to see you in there. As always, we will see you very soon.